Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm not. I'm still sick, unfortunately, but oh well, whatever. I can still talk, so I may as well make more videos. I just hope you can understand what I'm saying. Now, with the last video, I left off at this field here, field J10. It's the second pylon, and I beat it with ease. I showed you how to easily do it. And then I told you that I was going to recommend that you buy the game, because from this point onwards, well, yes, you can keep on slowly muddling around through the whole journey and eventually get to the end, maybe finish all of the levels pretty much without buying the premium edition, but this is about the point where you want to buy the premium edition because I have a nice surprise for you. Yes, that's right. So I signed in, and straight away you can tell that yes, all of a sudden all of this extra stuff is available and all of these skills down here are available. I got all of that, plus maybe 30 skill points I think you get for free when you buy the game, all for $7 US or whatever it is. Personally, I just bought it because A, it did make the game a lot easier, and B, I'd give this game making money, even if it is just $7. It's definitely worth it because I've spent a lot of hours playing all of the Gemcraft games. Hours. It should be more like weeks. Weeks and weeks and weeks of time gone. But it's a great game. So anyways, get the game, get the premium edition, sign in, and then I'm going to show you how to make a score unlike anything you've made before. Now, biggest score I've made so far is something like this, just under 22,000. Give or take. That's more or less the sorts of scores that you've been getting. As soon as I got the premium edition, I just signed in and I thought, well, how am I going to tackle this? What am I going to do next? How am I going to show these people who are watching my videos how to get a big score? And I thought to myself, well, I don't know, maybe I could show them something that they couldn't do, like finishing one of these challenge amulets. Let's see. Let's hover over it. There we go. There's one here. Deal at least 2 million damage in one battle on field B8. That's a lot of damage. You might be able to do it if you go random waves and you just keep on angering all of the monsters, especially the giant monsters, and I don't know. It's possible. But there's also other ones. 100 waves beaten on field C7. You can't do that without signing in and buying the game. So I thought, well, let's pick an easy one. Now, I'm sure by now you've noticed the score on there. I was going to just try and get the challenge amulet. Kill at least 7,000 monsters in one battle on field C11. Now, I thought, yes, I could probably easily show you how to do that. I'll knock off 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll show you how to get this challenge amulet. And I'll also show you how to do a swarm level when you're around this wizard, this wizard level. Now, I'm 115, but before I beat this one, my wizard level was about 75. So I went up 40 wizard levels in one game. How did I do that? Well, I'll pretty much try and duplicate what I did before I left it on normal. Remember, I was just going for 7,000 monsters. You can get the most monsters by doing swarm only. Increase the amount of monsters, clearly, to quadruple the amount. Try and get those quickly as possible. Make them as weak as possible. Number of waves, endurance. That way we'll just keep going until we do the challenge amulet. And we don't want them to be any tougher, so I just left all of this stuff here as is. Now, the multiplier is pretty low. Times 3.67. Yes, it is. It could be a lot higher, but I wasn't really going for a high score. That was going to be my next video on the next field. But, seems I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. And this is how I set up. I remember I gained about 300 and something skill points just off this one level. So I took them off, and I tried to put everything back to the way I remember it. I think this wasn't so high. But yeah, this is around about how I had things at the time. So pause the video if you want and have a look at how I've got things set up. And then from here, I'll show you how it's done. So, let's go ahead and start the battle. Now, how do you do a swarm level? Well, there's a couple of ways. First things first, I hope you've been upgrading that wild gem spell as much as possible because, yes, that's right, you've got to sell it. But, you know what? I just made a mistake. Extend your mana pool and then sell it. Because it sells for more than your mana pool can actually handle at the very start with that amount of focus that I've got in my focus skill. So if I continued on before, I would have only had 6,700 mana to play with. Now I've got 8,800. Silly little mistake that I was doing quite a bit very recently. I hope that's just one of the little tips that might help you out. Now with the swarm level, you could do it using towers. For some reason, in this instance, I used traps. So put a trap here, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Lay out a whole bunch of traps and space them out. And then buy Bloodbound immediately and buy Mana Gathering. Yes, that's a lot straight off the bat, but I'm telling you right now, this is a good way to do swarm levels. Now, traditionally, what you would have done with swarm levels, if you didn't have so much starting mana, is to try and make a few traps, space them out like this, and just place green gems, the poisonous ones, like this. And, yeah, hope that you picked off pretty much all of the swarms as they came. But I did it a little bit differently because I knew that I had to go through quite a few waves just to get that 7,000 limit. Remember, I have to kill 7,000 swarm monsters to get that challenge amulet. How do you do that? Well, get poison, get mana, and get bloodbound. Duplicates, I think it was, you just needed a little bit of bloodbound, so duplicate that a couple of times, that a couple of times, and that one more. So get 4 of these grade 1 mana gains, 3 of the grade 1 pure green poisons, and 1 bloodbound. Put them together, and you've got this. Now, just, yeah, duplicate it, put them inside your little traps, and away you go. Now, one thing you don't want to do is to send waves early, because to keep all of these gems nice and powerful and activate their bloodbound, you're going to have to do a little bit of micromanaging. What that means is you're going to have to pay attention to what's going on. You will leak some monsters, but it's okay, because every time one of these gems actually makes a hit, it's giving you a little bit of mana as well. So that's the reason why you've got a little bit of orange in these gems inside the traps. It's because without it, you don't really make much mana at all when you kill swarm monsters. They give very, very little. Give 1 mana when killed. Sure, there's a lot of them, but in the grand scheme of things, this just climbs way too slowly. So you've got to have some mana gain in your traps. The Bloodbound is so you don't have to keep on spending your mana upgrading all of your gems. They will just get more powerful and more damage naturally. As you can see already, 94 kills, 18 to 25 versus 10 to 16. See, they go up in damage very quickly. It doesn't seem like we would need it now, but as you can see, these monster waves will produce stronger swarm monsters as you go along. So, this is a bit loud. Or am I a bit quiet? I don't know, we'll leave it like that. See how it goes. Continue playing. Let's see. Could probably put a trap there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Duplicate that. Essentially what you're doing is you're not only spreading out your ability to kill swarm monsters efficiently, but you're also having a spread out mana farm as well. Essentially all of these attribute to being a mana farm. That's what you want. And as for the poison, well, that just ensures that you've got a little bit of extra damage. It's not really necessary. I suppose at this level, I could have maybe just got away with, instead of using poison, just put in chain hit or something like that. That would make the mana farm actually more effective. And yeah, I don't know. It really doesn't matter much. What does matter is that you do have something else. It could be chain hit. In fact, now that I think about it, that might have been the more clever move, so we've got hindsight. You guys can try that out. Tell me how it goes. I'm pretty sure it will go well for you. But yeah, as you saw in my skills earlier on, I did have all of my my triple gem mastery completely upgraded, because from now on, most of the time I will be using triple gems. So why not? Now what's going on here is, the reason why I didn't tell you to send waves early is because we want to keep the monster hit points low for now. Really low. Because if you look at this one, total kills 369. 25% of that number goes to the damage. So yeah, that's a pretty powerful gem right there, compared to, say, this one, or this one, or this one, or even this one. This is what happens as you keep going along. You duplicate these gems, but they start with a fairly average amount of damage. And if you don't micromanage all of these gems earlier on, then what will happen is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What will happen is, you will have some gems that are coping with what's going on as the waves go by, but some gems will be left behind. So now I'm going to swap over with the gems that are getting a lot of kills. I'm going to swap them with the ones that aren't. Now he will get a lot of kills because he's near an entrance. He will be doing okay too. This puppy, on the other hand, we could probably put him a little closer, so we'll swap him over. So now the ones that already have lots of kills and damage are at the back, and they won't be getting many kills, whereas the ones that are fresh, they will be getting kills. That way we can activate the Bloodbound on all of these to a satisfactory level, so they're all fairly useful as we go along. Now, I do have mana, essentially a mana farm going, so it is in your interests to every now and then extend the mana pool. Doesn't make that much of a difference early on, but believe me, once you've extended this about 100 times or so, and you've got 2 or 3 times the amount of mana coming in, you'll notice a big difference. And as for this nest, don't worry about it. It's fine. Honestly, I don't see any problem with it just being there. Just let it keep on going. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can space out these traps every 4 squares. That's completely fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a little bit slow going at first, but believe me, taking it slow at first is definitely going to help you in the long run. And this is how I got the challenge amulet. But also, to my surprise, I found that I was actually coping enough to, after about 350 waves of tweaking and so forth, I found all of a sudden that I had the ability to take the endurance all the way to the end. That's why I have such a high score on this field. It's because I completed endurance on a swarm level. It was totally unexpected. It's not what I was going for. But I got it and I was like, oh, this is alright. Let's see, put him there. Hit points. Swarm levels have about between 12, 13, 14 hit points. If it wasn't for the poison in this thing, wouldn't be making kills. In fact, it's not making kills. See, this is the problem. I'm going to have to upgrade him just so he makes more kills. There we go. Total kills, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now he's going up. So now, whenever I make fresh gems and I want them to make kills and activate the Bloodbound, they're going to have to be grade 5. And that costs 2,000 mana. Let's see, total kills 3. This is not working out. Gotta upgrade him too. Pardon me. It's just a little bit of tweaking and fiddling around and trying to get them to work, essentially. Let's see, 200, 300. Pause the game if you have to. There's no reason why not. It only takes a few seconds to tweak these around a little bit and get them all working nicely again. These gems that have a lot of kills, you don't need to upgrade them. Look at that, 100 damage. That thing is going fine. Let's see, 200, 300. What sort of numbers have we got here? 422, 289. Still a small amount. Let's swap that with that, see how it goes. Yeah, that's better. It's doing okay now. I can make another grade 5. Let's put him here. See how he goes. Let's hope he gets some kills. Nope, he's not getting any kills. I have a hunch he would probably get kills there. Nope, not really. Okay, so grade 5 is now useless as well. I need to upgrade my gems to grade 6. Keep extending that mana pool. This is a very simple way to do a swarm level. And yeah, honestly, I think with all of the settings cranked up and on a swarm level and not on endurance, I have a feeling there would be about that many waves anyways. So with these settings, it's clearly evident that this is more than enough to pass anything without endurance. Let's see, what do we got here? Grade 5. He's still not making many kills. That is just not cool. I have to upgrade him to grade 6 now. At the end of the day, if your gems are really struggling to get kills, then you can always just make a tower and bung it in there. It will make more kills this way. Easy way to get your new gems to get kills. Let's see, grade 4. I could probably get away with grade 5, maybe? Let's see. Wow. That should be enough. Now he's got enough damage. He could probably keep on making... Yeah, there we go. Just need a little bit of a boost. Now, where's this one? Here we go. Make kills. Probably put a tower there too, why not? And yeah, it's just more or less the same sort of thing. Keep on doing this. How many... There you go, swarm monsters killed. 8,000. So, if you made it to this point, you would have already had the challenge amulet. Congratulations, you got it. And that might have been the end of the story, but I thought to myself, well, now that I'm here, it's an endurance, I may as well just see how far I can go, see how high I can get the score. And what happened was, essentially what I did, eventually what I did was, I got rid of all of these gems, because they weren't really doing much in terms of mana. They were making kills, but I thought to myself, well, hang on a second. What I'll do is I might put a tower here, surround it with amplifiers, make it my usual lime, yellow, and thingy configuration. Put him in there. Surround him with, you know, gems inside the amplifiers, and make this one the gem that kills all of my swarm buddies, and replace all of these guys with pure lime and orange gems, essentially making them much more efficient mana farms. So instead of relying on the gems inside the traps to make kills, I was relying on them just to give me lots of mana. And I was relying on this bad boy to make all of the kills for me. That's what I transitioned into. And eventually I also made a mana farm down here. I put a trap here, surrounded it with 4 amplifiers, made it my mana farm. In hindsight, it probably would have been much clever to put my mana farm somewhere here instead, because A, I could get more amplifiers around it, and B, I was finding that because this entrance is much closer to the orb as far as paths go than this entrance, I was finding that this gem, and once you upgrade it a couple of times, it will have a large enough range to pretty much reach the whole map. I was finding that this tower was killing all of these guys coming out of here quicker than it would take for them to get onto my mana farm. So every now and then I had troubles trying to get my mana farm to give me mana. But it was more or less the same as what I did for a couple of endurance runs that are videos that I've already put up here. If you want to have a look at them, by all means, just go ahead and search them. You'll find them, no troubles. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Transitioned into that. And it worked out well. There was a little bit of tweaking here and there. And also because I have, at this level, I have a low amount of focus, it took me forever. And I mean forever to upgrade my extend mana pool. Essentially upgrade the maximum of my mana pool to a point where I was comfortable with how my gems were going and knew that they would kill anything and everything that would come out. The goal is the same as an endurance run. You want to be able to chuck this guy on random and have him kill anything and everything while you send all of the remaining waves. If you can do that, then you're doing well. That's all you need. It took me a long time, as I said, to get to that point though. Literally had something like 350 waves of continually tweaking and having stuff like this happen, trying to get my mana farm going and that. Alright, that was a big mistake there, what I did, I think. Oh no, it's okay. Amazing, I lived. But yeah, that's what happened. That's how you get the challenge amulet, and as a bonus, that's how you complete this level on Swarm on Endurance. Now, yes, at the end of the day, the battle settings I chose were pretty low. Let's see, what did I have? I had that, times 3.67. You're probably wondering, well, why didn't you do something like this, or this? And, I don't know, chuck a couple of these on as well, just to really bump up that multiplier. These are all valid questions. Remember, at the time, all I wanted to do was get that challenge amulet. Anything else after that was going to be a bonus. I didn't know. I honestly did not think that I would complete the endurance. I thought, here we go. What's going to happen is my mana farm's going to be going well. My gem's going to be going fine. But they will probably fall behind the amount of hit points that the monsters will be getting when they get to something like wave 150 or something like that. There's always sort of a wall where you just can't keep up with how strong the monsters are coming out on. They will just keep on going through your orb and you will eventually die. That's what happens. I was expecting that to happen. It didn't. I was pleasantly surprised. I'll admit, completing endurance on field C11 took bloody forever. It literally took me about 3 or 4 hours to eventually get it to a point where I could actually put it on autopilot and let all of the waves go through and complete the level. And at the end of the day, 4 hours of your time completing one of the previously completed fields that you've done and getting a score of 532,000 as opposed to 22,000. I don't know about you, but I know what I would be doing. I would be doing that. let's see. If you want to keep on doing that with some previous levels that you've done, then a couple of things I would suggest is look for the field base XP. Make sure it's, a reasonable amount. If you go to the very first level, 348 is not a lot. But yeah, best recipe for that sort of thing, if you want to do an endurance on swarms, and you want to do an endurance on swarms because with that setup that I showed you, it's actually quite easy to complete the swarm because you will be making kills with the bloodbound setup and so forth and multiple traps or towers and whatnot. You will be making a decent amount of mana. And also, the bonus with swarms is you don't have to worry about armor. I think at wave 300 or something, the highest amount of armor that I saw on a swarm wave was 30 off the blocks. Now, when you're dealing with swarms monsters with something like 3,333,000,000 hit points, which I think is the maximum that you see for about most of the waves. Yeah, 30 armor, it's not a problem. So you don't have to worry about armor unless you tweak up some of those battle settings and give them more armor in the first place. So look out for fields that have a good field base. Check the available gems. It's a bonus if you can get the available gems at the start to be red and orange, or red and chain hit, I suppose we'll go for. Don't bother with poison unless you're jacking up the armor and the hit points of the swarm levels at the start. If you do that, then maybe you will need poison just for that little extra oomph at the start, just to keep you on track. But yeah, look for the beginning gems. Try and get the colours you need so you don't have to buy as many colours off the bat, so you've got more mana to pump into buying gems and putting all of your traps everywhere. And last but not least, look for fields where the path between the closest entry point to your ending wizard tower or wizard orb or whatever it is, try and make it so it's got a really long path. The longer the path, the better, because that means you can put in more traps. Yes, you can use a level like this, and you could probably... Well, actually, you can't really use a level like that because there's just too many walls. You can't get rid of those. You can't gem bomb them all away. That's a bad example. But something like this, where you've got a lot of space, you could probably use walls to make a long path. It doesn't have to be long at first, but as you start to get your mana farm going, you're getting a lot of mana, yeah, you can keep on adding the walls and making this a lot longer. That is if you can keep all of the swarm monsters out of your way. Let's see. Yeah, I'd say this would be a good candidate. What's the E11? 488. So yeah, that's not too bad. Jack up the settings a little bit. Don't go gung-ho. Don't go for the maximum multiply because you will not pass it. It will be too hard. Battle settings to avoid. Waves getting tougher faster. Hell no. Do not do that. You won't be able to keep up. You'll probably lose the battle within the first 15 waves. Higher monster armor. If you use poison instead of chain hit in your triple gem, then I'd say go for it. Faster monsters, why not? They're swarms. They're running over your traps. Your gems will still hit them, so that's just a freebie, to be honest. I don't see any harm in doing that one. Banished monsters heal. I'd encourage it. Give it a shot. See how it goes. You will have banished monsters going through a lot, but at the end of the day, you should be able to keep your gems strong enough to be able to defeat pretty much all of your swarm monsters within one shot. So if you can do that, why not? Let the monsters heal. Next time they go through, they're just going to get slaughtered anyways. So these two settings I'd recommend. This one as well if you're going to use poison instead of chain hit in your gems. Banishment cost extra increase. Got to be careful with that one. You can use it. I would recommend it. However, one thing you have to keep in mind when you use this battle setting is you're going to have to be very diligent earlier on in the game when you don't have a lot of mana going on. If you start leaking a lot of monsters, it could become problematic because if they keep on going through again and again and again, the extra increase is going to make it very expensive for you to banish them back to the start, where they have to rerun through the whole maze again, and you could be overwhelmed early. So if you're going to do this, you are going to have to play it slowly at the start. You're going to have to micromanage, but once you get over a certain hump where your mana farm is going well, you're getting a lot of mana, your mana maximum is a lot, then I don't think this would be an issue. So be careful when using this one, but if you feel confident, and if you're patient, you can use it and you can jack up the settings a fair bit. Now let's see. Let's put it to maybe 20% higher hit points. That's not too bad. Either 20 or 50% I'd recommend at this level. Swarm, endurance. Don't do that. Seriously, do not do that. It's tempting. Don't do it. You could do this, and that's a damn big multiplier. That would give you, if you completed the endurance, then that would give you a multiplier well into the millions. It would be something around the order of 30, 40 million. But don't get greedy. Don't do that. And leave that about there or there. Yeah, probably about 20 or 50% higher. It depends. Play around with it a little bit. It doesn't hurt to go for the harder one first. I don't recommend doing this because you'll find, unless you micromanage all of your gems with Bloodbound early on, quite a lot, if you don't really tend to it, they will fall behind very quickly. You're going to have to produce the gems quickly and quickly try and get kills. You can put them in towers, it could help, but you might find your monster hit points is just too much after a few waves, and you can't make any more gems with Bloodbound that are effective. In the end, you would just have to keep on upgrading what you've got. And at the start, the more gems you have in traps, the better, because you're going to be dealing with very large numbers of swarms. So that's what I recommend. Try something like that. Let's see. Skills, keep them somewhere around here. Don't worry about dual gem mastery. You probably won't be using dual gems unless you do the mana farm. And if you do the mana farm, if you get to that point, well, what does it give you? 10% to their multiplier, to their damage, range, and firing speed. The only one of those three factors that will actually help you out is the firing speed, as far as mana farms are concerned. So, screw that. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's not going to affect you that much if you don't pump any into there. Let's see. Chain hit. Always have your Bloodbound maximized, and always have your wild gem maximized. Now, it might not be there. It might be somewhere around there or there when you're at this level. That's fine. It still gives you a lot of mana at the start. Just remember to extend that mana pool before you sell that wild gem. Otherwise, you might hit a wall, and you might be screwing yourself out of maybe 1,000 or 1,500 mana. At the start, that sucks. You need as much as possible. But when you do this for the first time and you get this many skill points or more or a little bit less, what I did was I basically set myself up. I did this. I said, yep, pump him up, give him a little bit, yep, pump him up, clean up house, basically do all of the things that you wanted maximum but you couldn't afford it. Leave that there like that. Let's see, I'm always going to be using chain hit, Bloodbound, and probably mana gain if I do endurance and stuff like that. Endurance is what you want to do. You want to go back and play levels where you think it would be easy to do endurance on. At first, you can do stuff like swarms or armored monsters, or even you can just do the random monsters in your battle settings. That's fine. I think next video what I'll show you is if you are going well and you're starting to really progress and you've got really big scores and you've got a lot of skill points and you feel like you're in a fairly comfortable spot, I'll show you how to focus your efforts on endurance. I'll give you a hint. It's with giants every second wave. That's actually the one that you can handle, and it gives you a lot of points. But yeah, let's see, 95 skill points. What did I do? I chucked some in here because range is nice when you're using towers. It's not nice when you're using traps, but yeah. Actually, I think I'll do that. pump him up a couple of times, and why not give him a couple? Let's see, what else can I do? Don't use shrines often, so I don't need them to be powerful. Damage and special modifier. That's a good one to do if you want to use mana farms. So keep an eye out on filling up your skill points with this particular one. And where's the amplifier? Is this amplifier? No, shrines, magnify. Ah yes, raise the power amp ratio of amplifiers by 1%. Now, I've set up my skill points like this. The next time I do an endurance, I will definitely probably pump this up to the maximum and this up to the maximum. Ignore that. Let's see, ignore that too. That's kind of pointless. Gem bombs, we only do 1% more monsters summoned by gems dropped on wavestones. That could be useful later on. Let's see, demolition, yeah, whatever. Not really that interested in that. Banisher. Banisher is good. If you pump this right up to its maximum, then you can start to think about always using this. Banished monsters. Banishment cost extra increase. Yes, there will be an extra increase, but it won't be as much as before. It'll still be a decent increase. It'll be a fair whack, but with this maxed out, it's not as bad. It's handleable. Anyways, I've just realised this video has probably gone on for very long. I've shown you what I need to show you. Next video, I'll show you something much more interesting. Catch you later.